What up, y'all? Pillbox back at it again. Just doing a little bit something different here. I'm gonna do a how-to video on how to overclock the Gtx 965M on my G751JL. I had a few requests to make this video, so I figure I'd do this video here. Now, I'm gonna do two parts to this video. The first half of the video, I'm going to show you how to do basic overclocking with the Gtx 965M, and then the second half of the video I'm going to show you how I do the advanced settings of the Gtx 965M. So without further ado, let's get into this overclock. Now first up, what I need to do here is I'm going to show you the first thing you need to download, and that is an overclocking tool. I prefer the EVGA Precision X16. Don't download the new one for Pascal. I would download this one because it just gives you a little bit more options with the older models of the G751JL, the Asus laptops. Unless you got Pascal, then download the Pascal one. But you can use MSI, it's just as good. There's no real difference. I just like EVGA because on NVIDIA's website that's what they use for the GPUs. So now, first things first, you need to log in so you can download this overclocking tool, and the version you're going to get is the version 5.3.11 Precision X-Tune. That's the one you're going to download. And I would download it from the Mirror 2. I wouldn't download it from Steam. If you download it from Steam, then the only time you can open it is when you have Steam open. And you might have other platforms that you don't want to have Steam open at the same time, such as Origins, Uplay, maybe Xbox app, and you still want to have your overclock going in the background at the same time. So that's why I say it's probably better just to download from the Mirror 2. But like I said from before, make sure you're logged in to download this overclocking tool. And I'll leave the links in the description down below so you can know exactly where to get the Precision X16 overclocking tool. So first things first, what I would do to get the overclock started is go into your NVIDIA control panel. There's a few settings you want to make sure you got set up first before you get the overclock going. So you got to go into manage your 3D settings. As you can see here, I'm pulling them up. There's a couple important ones here that I would do. First one is you want to make sure you got single display performance mode on. Unless you're using multiple displays, then don't do that. Next important one is make sure you have prefer maximum performance. That's important. That way your GPU is always cranked up as much as it can be cranked up. You want that thing going as much as it can. Get every little bit of money out of it that you paid for it. You apply the settings and then you back out. Next thing you want to do is go into your main control panel, and you want to go into your power options, and you want to make sure that your CPU is on high performance. You want the high performance on so that way you'll get the 3.6 gigahertz if you're running the i7-4720HQ. It's normally 2.6, but if you put high performance on, you'll get the single thread at 3.6 gigahertz at all times. So it'll always be on turbo boosted. Definitely helps out with the games. Trust me on that. So now you want to make sure that you put on K boost when you have the EVGA up. That's going to help it get the most out of the boost of your GPU. It'll keep that overclock on at all times. You don't want it fluctuating, jumping up and jumping down. You want to make sure that's overclocked all the time. So make sure you have K boost on. And then what you want to do here is to the GPU clock offset, is you want to make sure you get it up to plus 135 megahertz. That's as far as it can go on the basic overclock, because you have governors on your VBIOS that don't allow you to go any higher. So that's what you want to do, is put it to 135 megahertz. That's going to be all the way on yours, the slider all the way to the right. Now also on the memory clock offset, I would offset this to about 400 megahertz. Now you don't have to. Some people say don't do this too high, but I've been running like that for 2 years before I flashed my BIOS, and I've never had an issue once, man. So, but it's up to you. You know, use your own discretion, test it out in your own system, decide what you want to do. So this is for the basic overclock. This is exactly what you want to do. If you put that on to 135 megahertz plus and plus 400 megahertz on the GPU, what's going to happen is that 949 megahertz at the top there with K-Boost on is going to automatically go to 1084 megahertz. And that will jump up there. I didn't hit apply because I flashed my BIOS, and I'm going to go into that detail later. But that's what it'll go. It'll go from 949 megahertz to 1084 megahertz. So now we're going to get into the overclocking of the advanced overclocking for the GTX 965M, where you actually flash the BIOS. Alright, so now we're going to get into this advanced overclocking for the GTX 965M, which brings me to this website right here, which is called voltground.com, and I'm going to leave a link in the description for that as well. This is where you're actually going to flash the VBIOS of your GPU. Now what that does for you is that helps you unlock the GPU, so that way you're not basically having any more governors on it, man. This allows you to adjust the voltage, allows you to adjust the megahertz to the GPU clock offset a lot higher, and also the memory gets you more power to your GPU. This is specifically for flashing Maxwell notebook GPUs. Alright, you can see G-Sync is supported here, and once you flash the GPU BIOS, you can always update your drivers. Don't worry about that. That's never going to change it. Once you flash it, you're good to go. So that's not going to change anything with your driver updates with NVIDIA, so don't worry about that. Now everything that you need is right here. You got some tools. Let's read this warning first though. This is important. Please make sure your system is connected to the power source and you're not on battery only. Also, make sure your CPU and GPU is not overclocked, undervolted, overvolted while flashing. If they are, you need to revert them back to the default values before continuing. That's very important. Now what I did before I flashed mine is I just updated my drivers again, so that way I had a clean, fresh install on the drivers and I was good to go. No more overclock. Alright, so now you got some stuff here with the tools. You can see GPU Z version 1.120 and NV Flash version 5.199 for Windows. The GPU Z, what that's designed for is to make a copy of your original VBIOS. And the reason that you do that is that you want to keep your stock BIOS just in case, for whatever reason that you need to do, recovery option, whatever it may be, selling your system, you know, selling your laptop, whatever it may be. I think it's just a smart. I mean, you don't have to do it, but I'm recommending that you just make a copy of it and keep it. It's just important to keep your original VBIOS and just back it up. And that's that step right there, pre-step. And you can do it by just downloading the GPU-Z version 1.120 and just making a copy of it and back it up, and you're done. And right here in the pre-step explains to you what to do. Now once you're done with that, you can go through the other steps very easily. Now step 1, you want to make sure that you're making a new folder called VBIOS, and that's going to be in your hard drive. Copy in the stock or original ROM to it as well. Now you need to download that NV flash above, copy all the files, and the modified VBIOS that I'm going to show you where to download here in a minute. And you're going to download that as well. And I'll show you in just a minute where you can download that. So right here is where you want to download it. This is where you're going to go and you're going to find your specific VBIOS that's specific for your notebook on your Asus. And you're just going to click that on the word here. It's going to bring you to the page where you need to find your VBIOS. So you can see they got the different Asus laptops here. G751JL, that's with the GTX 980M, G751JT 970M, and then you got the G751JL 965M. You need to download right there. That's everything that you need listed above. That's going to be in that download. Once you download that, you're going to go back there and read the steps, go through it exactly how it tells you to, because it's very important that you do this step by step. You want to go to your GPU on step 3, device manager, and you're going to turn your display adapters off for your GTX 965M. Now just skipping down here to step 6, I wanted to show you where you can see where it says to type in the NV flash. This is important because this is what I messed up here, so I want to explain this to you. You see where it says NV flash -6 XXX. Remember, you're going to put it without quotes. You don't want any quotes in there. Second of all, you can't really tell if there's a space between that or not, but there is. If you don't put the space in there, it's not going to work right. So you want to make sure you put NV flash space -6 space and then the name of the ROM. The X's are just for the name of the ROM. Now this is where you download it, and you're going to see the name of the ROM there for the download. So I'm going to click on the download, and now you can see it there. It says asus.g751jl.965m.version1.rom. Now mine right here that you're seeing is in parentheses 1. Just ignore that because I've already downloaded it, so it's making another one and it's putting the number 1 in parentheses. It won't do that on yours. On yours it won't have that 1 in parentheses. So that ROM that I told you, asus.g751jl.965m with that version1.rom, that's where you're going to fill that in where those X's are. So you need to put NV flash space -6 space again asus.g751jl.965m.version1.rom, where those X's are. That's very important that you do that with the spaces, like I said, because if you don't, it's not going to work. You'll just be wasting time doing that. Now, after that's done, you're going to press enter, and it's going to ask you if you're sure you want to flash, and to continue, you're going to have to press Y twice. So it's going to be when prompted, you're going to have to press it again. When you press it twice, if you've done it exactly like I said with the NV flash, you have to hit that space, -6, hit the space bar again, and then put the name of the ROM in. If you do it just like that, when you hit the Y twice, you're going to hear like a beeping noise. Beep, beep. Hope you like my little sound effect there. And then what you want to do is, once that's done, you want to go back into your device manager, turn your GPU back on, restart the system. When you restart the system, you're going to see that you're going to power targets at 100%, your GPU temp targets at 89, and then you'll be able to overclock it, and you'll be able to overvolt it, as you can see that I did here. This is one of my presettings that I play games with on Steam. 1360 megahertz. I got the 405 on the memory clock. Now this preset is the one I do for Xbox app, for Gears of War 4, because that one is just a little bit better for me. It's very stable that way. So listen, I hope this helped. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, shoot me a like. If you didn't, you know, I don't know what to tell you. But if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. It's much appreciated. I'll answer any comments that I can. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, and please hit that like button and share this video on how to overclock the GTX 965M. Appreciate the support. Alright, y'all. Peace.